Hey friends, Wes Spencer here. You remember when you were a kid and you wanted to jump on that carnival ride and you walked up to the height restrictions and unfortunately it said you must be this tall to ride and you're right down here. You remember that and how agonizing it was? In the cybersecurity insurance world, it's actually the same way. You must be a certain height to ride. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean there are 5 critical cybersecurity controls that your business must have in place, not optionally, must have in place in order to be eligible for cybersecurity insurance. I want to talk about each of those. The first one is what's called multi-factor authentication, or MFA. Now, you all know what this is. This is when you get a code that comes up to your phone, right? And that gives you have to enter in that code to be able to get access when you log into something. Now, this occurs all the time when we see anomalous logins or new logins. And a lot of people are like, oh, I hate an MFA. I don't want to deploy that. It is so incredibly important in stopping breaches that cyber insurance will not even let you be eligible without MFA in place. And MFA needs to be rolled out for everybody, from the CEO all the way down. You can't have some people accepted from it. And the good thing is, these days, it only triggers and occurs during anomalous or new login events. And so it's not as burdensome as you might think. Now, number 2, this one is also really important and something you need to have in place as well, and that's segregated backups. This is where we take our backup strategy and we make sure that some of our data is stored in a way that cannot be accessed or changed by anybody else. See, we know backups are important for events like fire and maybe a natural disaster. But equally important is keeping backups around in the event of a cyber attack. See, what cyber criminals will often do is they will attack your business and they will send ransomware everywhere, charging you $100,000, $200,000 or more in ransom fees to recover. And one of the ways they do this to make sure that you end up paying is they delete your backups. It's really scary and it happens all the time. So segregated backups are a way that keep that off and away from a bad guy so they can't access those backups, and you'll have the ability to restore and recover. Now, the number 3 thing is called EDR, or endpoint detection and response. And this is a tool that operates on your computers and it's looking for signs of bad behavior. Let me give you an analogy so you can understand this. You know, you have a home alarm system in your home, and let's say the windows open up at 2 a.m. and we also see hallway movement on the monitor. Well, that could be a sign of bad activity happening. It may not be for sure, but it's something we should look at. And EDR is, think of it as that early warning system, that anomalous ability to say, we're seeing this weird sign and this weird sign. We should probably take a look at that and see what's causing that misbehavior. That's what EDR does. And it gives teams the ability to watch over networks and cut out early bad guy access before something really bad happens. EDR has now become a critical component that your business must have. Number 4. This kind of goes in line with EDR. This is called next generation antivirus. And next gen antivirus is all about deploying machine learning algorithms to look for patterns of like malice or malware that happens to be on your computer. See, machine learning is so effective and powerful because it can operate at speeds that no human can ever look at. It can look at thousands, if not millions, of patterns of good behavior and bad behavior, and it can be used to find things that are indeed bad, but something we may never have seen before. It takes antivirus to the next level. Antivirus classically just looks for signs, or what we call signatures, of bad things. Well, next generation antivirus can say, I can see bad things without even having to have a signature for it, because my machine learning algorithm is telling me when nasty things are happening. Now, number 5, have you noticed how all the controls so far that cyber insurance requires as a bare minimum are technical controls? Well, the 5th has to do with you, and it has to do with me and all of our employees. It's cybersecurity awareness and training. See, humans are both the weak link and the most important link when it comes to cybersecurity breaches. And we've learned it's so critical to make sure from the CEO on down, everybody is trained with security. Things that for example, you know how to spot a phishing attack. You know what signs of something weird might happen, and you know how bad guys like to deploy attacks against your people. And also phishing training. This is where we actually test our users by sending them phishing emails. Now, we don't do this to say, you got caught on a phishing email. No, we do it to keep them aware, to keep them prepared, to keep them ready. Just like soldiers train for combat, so do our employees train for phishing emails. It's too important not to have. So there you have it. Those are the 5 critical controls. Now, they're not the only ones that you may need to have, but they are the 5 minimums to be this tall to ride to be eligible for cyber security insurance. Now, if you're wondering how to implement all this, this is why your IT folks and your managed IT provider are here for you. They will help you deploy, implement, manage, and maintain all of these 5 controls. They are critical, they are required for all carriers, and it's not all that difficult to have those things deployed, so take heart. And lastly, when you're looking for cyber insurance coverage, take a look with us here at FifthWall. Our access is unmatched by anybody out there, period. We can give you the capability of finding the perfect policy for your size, your industry, your complexity, your revenue, you name it. We will find the best coverage for your security controls in place. Thanks.